Hi guys, Mrs. Albert's here and welcome back to my channel. Let's begin. There has been quite a lot of requests regarding Bedryf 3's bespreking to redo this video because there was a lot of confusion in the summarized version that I did. So here we go. I hope that the shortened version with lots and lots of pictures and leaving out the main things but just following the basic storyline will help you in clarifying what happens in Bedryf 3. Good luck! So at the start of Act 3, we've got, obviously, just to irritate the crap out of us, a little difference. So there's a difference in timeline according to the drama that we do versus the movie that we've watched. Instead of Nina being 12 when she goes to Knysna to become a babysitter, she's in fact aged around 17 to 18. So she is much older than in the movie. But that's where our start is. So it's just a little wrap around your brain that they might have spent a little bit longer together than in the movie initially. So a few months later, Nina stops sending money home, and then Elias sends Lucas to go and find her. And so there he is, and he sets off on his way to Knysna to go and retrieve the money or find Nina. Now, when we look at our book, you'll see that there is a little section about a ghost ship and how Lucas is really intrigued by this ghost ship. He has a big discussion with Armstrong about ships and the ocean and how much he loves it. Then finally, he finds Nina at Miss Weatherbury, but she's quite feisty. She does not want to send any more money home. She wants to be left alone, and she basically says Elias must get off his ass and work for himself if he wants money. So while he is with her and Miss Weatherbury, he asks her a favor. He asks her to go back to the forest and tell Elias that he is not coming back. He believes that he has covered for her so many times that for this once she needs to go and do something for him. And he asks really, really, really nicely, and then she does go to the forest. While she is away, he starts working for the fisherman Khalil September, basically just catching fish, and in return he is given a place to stay and food, which is your basic necessities. He doesn't need anything else. Finally, after a while, Nina comes back and she has a message for Lucas, and that is that on her way from the forest home to Knysna, she ran into a messenger, a Laiki. Laiki is the name of the person she ran into, and he had a message for Benjamin Kamuti that his brother David died, which is terribly sad. Then he sets off to go to the Langekloof. Amazing scene. We basically want this to happen. This is what we have been looking out for. We want this reunion. And then finally, here we are, the reunion we have been waiting for. It is beautiful. It is lovely. Our hearts thump thinking about it. Then the big reveal, after spending some time with his mother and catching up with family, there's something that has been troubling him, and then he reveals it. He is in love with his sister, which is shocking. The way that FIELA handles the situation is actually what is beautiful. She is typically a mother who supports him in everything. Even though she is shocked, she says that this is the reason why she still believes that he is not Lucas van Rooyen, because this would not have happened if he was in fact her brother. But she says there's only one person who can release him of that name. It's not the government. It's the person who chose him, the person who pointed him out at the magistrate's office. So he then goes to Barta and he confronts her. He asks her, "Who am I?" And in this case, she sticks with it. She says that he is Lucas van Rooyen. Frustrating. Sigh. Disappointed, he returns back to Knysna, but now he knows that he cannot have a relationship with this woman he is in love with because she is in fact his sister. Barta has said it. She said that she would swear it again in front of the magistrate, so he is now convinced that this cannot be. So he places a boundary on their relationship, and he says with Nina, he talks to Nina and he says that they need to spend less time together, which of course she does not like. She is angry. So then he goes back because he realizes that his feelings for Nina is just too strong, and he confronts Barta for round 2. And finally, he beats it out. No, he doesn't beat it out of her. Just joking. Finally, she speaks the truth, and she says that she picked the wrong boy, and there's a whole revelation. Basically, this is not Lucas van der Rooyen. He is another boy. Right, and then at the end, he returns to John Ben, his employer, the person that he has been rowing for, to tell him that he is Benjamin Komoti. Now, that brings your theme of identity in this book to a close. That is why we don't need to have a happily ever after between him and Nina, because this was never a romance. The main plot, the main theme was Lucas's identity, and the fact that he can admit that he is Benjamin Komoti to another white man shows you that the identity issue is now closed. He knows who he is, and you can see in his face he is happy about who he is. Now, I may be wrong, so you might have to comment, but I think this is the part that confuses you in Bedryf 3, and this is the employer issue, because where does John Ben now come from? Last time we spoke, I said that he was working for Khalil September, and they do not mention that he actually starts working for John Ben. But there is a little hint, something that Nina says, that make us infer or deduce that he started working. Let's look back. He wanted to row from the start. Khalil said he wasn't going to teach him. We see a scene where Seling actually teaches him how to row, and then we can assume that he did go to John Ben. And he started rowing for him. And now let's look at that scene so we can see where did that happen. It was in this scene where he tells Nina that they shouldn't spend so much time together. Nina actually says, that scene says, woedend, nou goed Lucas, van hierdie oomblik af loop ek nie weer agter jou aan nie, wat my betref kan jy vergaan in daardie loodsboot, want dit is al waarvoor jy omgee. She says you can die in that ship, that rowboat, because that is the only thing that you care for. So there we can assume that he actually started working for John Ben, and that was his employment at the end. The back and forth about identity, the going to Barta, I'm sure you guys have that now. You've got the plot line, you've got the storyline, you've got the when, what, and where. I hope you guys are fine now. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you've got any questions, you can follow me on Instagram at Afrikaans Classroom. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos, like and share.